Hi everyone, welcome to the Fat Lady Knits. If you are with me frequently, hey! If you've just gotten here, welcome. As per the princess, please, if you have not done so already, please hit the subscribe button. And after you do that, there's a bell, so you can hit the bell. It will notify you when a new video drops. And also, if you like what I show, what I talk about, please hit the like button. And if you have a question, please leave something in the comment. The princess loves to get an answer so she can answer back. For her, this is fun, fun, fun. For me, this is work, but it's also fun. Last time I was here, I was talking about texture in terms of socks on the CSM. Because let me confess, I've had my first machine for about 6 years now, and at some point I became bored with the plain socks. Yes, the yarn was interesting. Yes, you could get stripes. I don't like stripes. But I was like, it's a machine. What else can I do on this? Oh, before I go any further, aren't these earrings awesome? I have to do a video because there's a story behind these earrings, but not today. But for now, they're just really, let me show them to you. They are neat. This belonged to a lady who started collecting jewelry in the 1930s. This is so cute, but I digress. Let's get back to socks and texture. This blowout thing is really annoying and you're trying to get angles. It looks like a tuck stitch, doesn't it? It's not, it's skip stitch. If you look, you can see where the yarn was not knit, it was just carried. It's not as pronounced as I would like it to be. I think if I do 2 stitches in terms of a skip stitch instead of tuck, then it will be much easier to see. But this is really nice and you can feel that. And I use Lycra in it, so it helped to scrunch the yarn. Yeah, I really like this. But I made it. If I didn't like it, who else would? Look at that. Okay, and I did another one. Look at that. Oh, I think it's easier here to see the skips. Yeah, you can see where it skipped. Everywhere where there's this little dimple, it skipped. Okay? Oh, and you know what? Before I go any further, let me say a word about these sock blockers. My God, I need to. I sound as though English is not my first language. Actually, it's not, but that's not the point. These are awesome and I like them, but what I found that I had to do, and it's easier to do it down here, is to push it in. Up here it's much harder, but I found that when you put a sock on one of these, if you forget or you leave it too long and it's stretched out the way it normally is, your cuff loses some of its elasticity because it gets really stretched out and it stays in that position for a couple weeks. Not a good idea. So what I've been doing, and I'm sure this is sacrilege to some, but it's only wire. I pushed it in so that when I put a sock on it, instead of it being stretched out, it's pushed in. Let me show you again. Hold on. I'm not necessarily the most dexterous person. That's not showing you. Let's pull it down. Yeah, that's better. You see how the cuff now isn't stretched out? And if we pull it down even more, it's not stretched. Just don't pull it to the heel, because if you pull it all the way to the heel, you've just defeated your purpose. So you see why didn't I take the tag off? because I'm sure once I do, one day I will go and I'll pick one of these up and I will be clueless as to what size it is. So right now, the tags are hanging on there. Okay? Excuse me. Maybe one day I'll actually be able to look at it and go, that's a small, that's a medium, that's a large. Right now, they all look the same to me. And more. Oh, this is another skip stitch. Oh, wow. I didn't realize I did so many skip stitches. I really liked it. And these socks are kind of long. Yeah, this is really nice. And what I was thinking, whether it was a tuck or a skip, where's my tuck? I have a tuck here somewhere. No, that's a plain vanilla sock. That's lace. We're not ready to talk about lace. Ah, whether it's a skip or a tuck, I think if you were making an over the knee sock or an actual leggings, I think these would be really awesome in terms of texture. As I said, I'm not sure about color, but maybe if you did it in like a stripy yarn, so it's alternating colors, that would add, that would not necessarily, or it may not necessarily take away from the textured look that you're going for. I won't know until I try. We will see. And then, this is not the pièce de résistance. This was just, I was sitting and oh, went to Rhinebeck, and there was a little girl. She couldn't have been more than 3, and her mom had knitted her a sweater, and it was baubles all over. And the sweater was just gorgeous. So I was making socks, and I was like, why can't we do baubles? And the answer is, there's no reason why you can't do baubles. Okay. Now this one I think would work in color. I think. If you can prove me wrong, I have no problem with it. But I think baubles would really, really work with this. Okay. See? All of that. And, oh boy, it's getting blown out. Ah, that's better. And for the person out there who's going, well, why are all these socks in white? In 2019, I was able to get a fabulous deal on opal white sock yarn. And I bought 3 dozen. And this is what I've been doing to make the samples, because I think it's easier on the eye to see what I've done as opposed to one of my bright colors, because I have it here. Oh, actually, you know what? I think baubles would show on this pink. I think baubles might be the one thing that will show no matter what color, because it's raised from the yarn. The one thing I can say is I really wanted to make some bigger baubles, but I think if I do that, I'm gonna have to stuff them, because these are made over 2 stitches. And I found that when you make them over 3 stitches, they come out long as opposed to round. And I really wanted a round look. But maybe I should also try the long ones so I can see what it really looks like. Or I can alternate. You can really play with it. The other thing that occurred to me, especially when I was doing the baubles, there's no reason for you to do it in the same color as the sock. You can make them in different colors. You can get a variegated yarn if you would prefer. You can use a stripy yarn, and it will give you that variegated look depending on how it was dyed. As I said, yeah, the one color is all right, but colors, that would probably bring out. Or you could do think of this in a dark sock yarn with white baubles. That would be spectacular. You'd be half blind by the time you're done, but you would have a really spectacular looking sock. And I'm also thinking of leggings. I think this would be so interesting. And you know what else? Who's to say you cannot mix the baubles with your skip stitch or with a tuck. Why not? I think you're only limited by your imagination, and as you can see, you can make socks that don't necessarily rely on color, but you can use color, but you can make textured socks on a circular sock machine, which is something you usually don't see. Okay, it's the color work, which I'm not criticizing. The socks people make on their CSMs are usually fabulous. Some people have an eye for color that is out of this world. Some people have an eye for, they mix and match things that you're like, I never thought of that. And it comes out really nice. And think of a sock. Well, I seem to be partial to this today, but think of this sock if it had bobbles in different colors, if the rib was a different color, if the background was a different color, if the heel was a different color, if the top was a different color, the bottom, and then the toe. It would be the biggest sock in the world. It would be not the biggest, it would be the busiest sock in the world, but it would be awesome. Why not? Okay? Yeah, so that was my experiment with texture. Sorry about that, showing you the top of my bald head. And I have some other socks that I like to talk about, and they're in these bags. These bags are so much fun, but I see we're coming to the end of today's episode, so I will catch you next time. But aren't they cute? Okay, this one is awesome. These two, well, you know what? We'll talk about them in the next episode. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to spend with me. Please keep crafting. I hope you're having lots of fun. And the holidays are coming. I hope at least one of your gifts is yarn. Oh, yarn. Till next time, I'll catch you.